Hello everyone, this is Dr. Manjari Narkani, Ayurvedic MD, registered holistic nutritionist, base allergy consultant. Today's topic is another amazing topic that is super close to my heart. We are going to talk about different kind of diets, and we are going to make sure that we understand what is the best diet for you by really understanding your requirements. And that's all the discussion today is going to be about. For those who are new to me, I am an Ayurvedic MD. I'm also a registered holistic nutritionist, and I combine the Eastern Ayurvedic medicine with Western holistic nutrition to give you the best diet for your body, so this diet can help your healing. This diet can support your immunity. This diet can lower the inflammation in your body, build muscle mass, give you tons of energy, help you sleep better, clear your skin, and all of the absolutely amazing thing that comes with the best diet, selecting the best diet for you. So it's extremely important to have the right diet for you at all times, and that is because you are eating food on a daily basis. Food is something that's very crucial, that often most people take for granted, but food is not something to take for granted. The food you eat on a daily basis is something that's going to nourish your body, that's going to build your body tissues, that's going to support your organs, that's going to build the lining, each and every cell of your body, whether it's to do with any kind of tissues, whether it's to do with any kind of organs, is created from the very food you eat. And that is why the physical body in yoga is called as annamaya kosha, which means the food sheath, or the sheath that's created by the intake of food. So this is how important food is for you, and selecting a diet is a very personalized experience. You should not do the diet just because it's working for somebody else, right? So an example I can give you is the carnivore diet that's extremely popular nowadays. I've had several different clients come to me with the carnivore diet, and some of them have felt amazing. All their aches and pains have just left their body in 2 3 months, while others could not even keep up with it for 5 days, and they started feeling extremely sick, extremely tired, extremely bloated on the carnivore diet because it was not working for them, right? So this is where you really need to take a few steps back and really understand five different things that are crucial for you to consider when you are looking at what diet you should be choosing. So that's going to be extremely important. So one of the biggest things that you need to know from an Ayurvedic perspective is your body constitution. So when we talk about Ayurveda, we always look at what is the dominance of doshas or bioenergies in your body. Are you dominant in the wind factor we call Vat? Are you dominant in the fire or the sun factor that we call Pitta? Or are you dominant in the moon factor that we call Kapha, right? So these doshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, are bioenergies that will give you your particular characteristics. So an example is, if you have brown eyes, hazel eyes, eyes in the color, shades of like yellowy tones, then you are a pitta dominant person, right? If you have extremely frizzy hair, dry skin, if you have a lot of asymmetry in your features, one eyebrow raised over the other, then we know that your vata is dominant, that's expressing itself. And if you have a round face like me, right? If you have thick hair, dark colored eyes, if you're slow in your activities, then you have a kapha body type, right? Or kapha dosha type, or kapha prakriti. So if you want to know more about your dosha types, you can watch more videos on my YouTube channel, Manjari Ayurveda. I have explained characteristics for each and every dosha type, whether it's Vata dosha, Pitta dosha, Kapha dosha, and how you can understand your Prakriti using those videos. So please look at those videos and you will get a better idea of what I'm saying. But understanding your body constitution, your prakriti, is crucial for deciding what kind of diet you should be eating, right? And also because your metabolism, when we talk about the metabolism, every dosha type or every kind of prakriti will have a different metabolism because of how the bioenergies work in the body. So a fire type personality, a pitta dosha dominant person, will have a faster metabolism, a higher metabolism, right? They are going to constantly need concentrated proteins to feel satiated. If you give them light carbs like oatmeal, they are not going to do well. They don't do the best on vegan diets, right? So they need dense protein. Animal protein really helps them thrive. And again, I'm talking about generalization. This is not customized to you, so I'm talking about the general idea. But a pitta type personality usually requires more protein in the body, and at more times, denser proteins, which is going to keep them full. They're not going to be hangry, irritable, because their digestive fire is already stoked. When you look at a Vata type personality, they're constantly dry, they constantly have low energy. They're going to need a lot more carbs as well as lot more good quality fats that are going to keep them stable, that are going to keep them satiated, that are going to lubricate the joints. That carbs are going to keep their brain functioning well. So are the fats, right? So that is something a Vata dominant personality would need. And when we look at a Kapha dominant Prakriti, they are going to need lighter foods to digest, more fiber, because their digestion can be a little bit sluggish. So they need lighter foods to eat. So more greens, cooked greens, right? More spices that are going to support the digestion metabolism in the individual. So the number one thing that you need to know before you decide diet is your unique body constitution, your prakriti, which also dictates how you are able to metabolize the food. Now, the second thing you should look at when deciding a diet is you want to know that what your health goals are. What exactly are your health goals, right? So, are you looking to achieve better focus? Are you looking to balance your hormones? Are you looking to, lose weight? What exactly is it that you are trying to achieve, and that will really support your diet, right? If you have any medical conditions, right, the medical conditions will also dictate what kind of diet you should be on. So an example is, if you are insulin if you have insulin sensitivity, right, or type 2 diabetes, you cannot eat a lot of carbs. So that is absolutely not going to work for you. So if you eat a high carb diet, that's going to be detrimental to you. On the other hand, if you are somebody who has had gallbladder issues or who doesn't have a gallbladder, if your gallbladder has been resected and then you suddenly go on a keto diet without any enzymatic support, you are not going to be able to digest that amount of fat, right? So that's going to create more challenge in your body. So, whereas somebody with insulin resistance, low carb or ketogenic diet is actually going to work well, right? If you are looking more for your heart health, Mediterranean diets, Ayurvedic diets, customized to your heart health also work amazing. We can actually add foods that have good amounts of anthocyanins that are really beneficial for the heart. Anti-inflammatory diets, if you are diagnosed with any immune condition, autoimmune condition, whether we are talking about psoriasis, whether we are talking about rheumatoid arthritis, whether we are talking about MS, right? So those will call for different diets. So there we want to focus on lowering the inflammation, and that is how we are going to decide the diet. So your health goal, what are you looking to achieve, is the second factor. The third factor is your medical condition, right? If you are diagnosed with any medical conditions like heart related issues or bone related issues, if you have osteopenia, osteoarthritis, you want a diet that is specifically going to have foods that are nourishing your bone. And in Ayurveda, we believe that the food you eat goes through several transformations to create the tissues in your body. So when you're eating food, it's going to create the food juices known as ahar rasa, which is then going to form rasadhatu, which indicates a lot of fluids in the body, like your plasma or your lymph, is a part of the rasadhatu complex, right? Then we look at rakta, where your blood, your red blood cells are fed second. Then third is the mausadhatu, which is nothing but the muscle tissue. So all the muscular structures, whether we're looking at smooth muscles, whether we're looking at skeletal muscles, are all fed in the third sequence or the third group, which is the mausadhatu, right? Then after mausadhatu, we look at medodhatu, which is the fat. So your body fat, your fat that is lining the body, that is also extremely important. Your omentum, all the organ linings, are also going to be fed there. Then we look at bones, which is the fifth. So if you need a diet that's supporting your bone health, you want the diet, the foods to be able to penetrate and get processed into this fifth layer, which is the bone tissue. Then we look at bone marrow, which is at the sixth level. Then we look at the reproductive fluids, hormones at the seventh level, right? So, whatever your requirement is, whatever your medical condition is, you want to make sure that the diet is aligned and the diet is actually reaching your body and is getting absorbed. So, that's where we go to number four. We are going to talk about your digestion and absorption, right? So, no matter how good, how clean, how organic, how expensive food you eat, unless you're digesting and absorbing it, it is not helping you. I see this in my clinic on a daily basis. In most patients, I use body composition, especially if you are dealing with metabolic issues, especially if you're dealing with weight related issues, if you're dealing with type 2 diabetes, if you're dealing with heart conditions, if you're dealing with high blood pressure, high cholesterol. What I really like to do is get a body composition report, which gives me an idea of how much body fat you have, how much muscle mass you have, how much water retention you have, what's going on from a cellular level, how healthy are your cells, what's your mineral composition like, are you hydrated, are you dehydrated, right? So often in my practice I will see that people are eating a lot of protein, at least 3 to 4 times a day, and especially animal protein or concentrated protein, right? So if you're having eggs in the morning, tuna for lunch, chicken for dinner, at least 3 times a day, but we see that you have really low muscle mass, you are probably having issues with digestion. So even the best organic chicken is not going to be absorbed, right? Similar thing for supplements. If you're taking a lot of supplements and you're not seeing any benefit, chances are your digestion, your absorptive capacity is very low because of some kind of existing inflammation. You are not digesting the food, right? Again, when it comes to digestion, it's also important to know that you're not eating foods your body is sensitive to. An example is, if you are taking in whey protein, but you are sensitive to it, your body is reacting to it, your body is unable to absorb it well, unable to utilize it well to build the muscle mass. So that is also an important factor when it comes to your digestion. So in my opinion, if you are struggling with any of the issues we've been discussing before, feel free to get in touch with me. We can set up a food sensitivity test where we could test you for either reactions to different foods like whey, casein, lactose, which are components of milk, or dairy. We can also test for gluten. We can also test for wheat, rice, spelt, barley, etc., to get a better idea of what your sensitivities are. And that is how you will understand whether you're absorbing the food or not and able to incorporate the protein from the food or the carb from the food or the fat from the food, right? So that was number four. Number five is your lifestyle, right? So, are you an active person? If you are active, what is your activity like? Yesterday, I had a client who was put on a crash diet, a diet designed by her trainer to help her lose weight. She was able to go through with the diet for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, she felt exhausted, really burnt out, and the diet was a 1200 calorie diet. Now she is 5'8" and she weighs 220 pounds, there is no way even her metabolic rate or basal metabolic rate is 1200, right? So if her basal metabolic rate, which is the number of calories she requires just for the circulation, respiration, all the involuntary body processes, is more than 1600, and she's eating a diet that's really deficient, she is not going to build a lot of muscle mass, and then she's working out as well, right? So when you follow a diet, you want to make sure that is it supporting your activity levels. The diet for a runner is slightly different than the diet for a person who's weight training. For a runner, the goal is not to put on a lot of muscle mass, because then it's going to make you slower when you run. You're going to drag all that weight with you, right? At the same time, when you're doing weight training, the goal itself is to be able to put on the muscle mass, right? So, whatever activity that you do, are you playing pickleball? Are you swimming? Or are you sedentary, right? If you are sedentary and you're eating protein 6 or 7 times a day, 8 times a day in smaller meals, chances are you're not digesting that protein, and anything that you don't digest is going to create toxicity in your system. The toxicity is what we call ama in Ayurveda, right? So you always want to make sure that you are looking at your activity levels as well when you are deciding the perfect diet for you. And the bonus part, we've talked about 5 things. We've talked about your unique body constitution and metabolism. We've talked about your health goals, which was number 2. We've talked about medical conditions, number 3. We've talked about digestive, absorptive capacity, and food sensitivities at number 4. And fifth is the lifestyle. The sixth bonus tip is, are you going to be able to sustain the diet, right? Are you going to be able to sustain a keto diet for a longer time? Are you going to be able to sustain the carnivore diet for a longer time, right? Chances are no, right? For most people, it is not realistic to be carnivore for longer periods of time, because it will lead to nutrient deficiencies. When you are avoiding certain groups, food groups completely, you are not going to get a lot of B vitamins there. You're not going to get good amounts of fiber, right? And more than supplements, you better absorb nutrients from foods. So lack of food groups, keto diet is very popular for mineral deficiencies. Unless you supplement minerals, you are going to have a lot of cramping in the calf muscles. Feeling tired, feeling fatigued is very common there, right? So if you cannot sustain the diet, it's not the best diet for you. If you are trying a vegan diet because your best friend told you, but you constantly are thinking about meat, or constantly relying on faux meats for the taste, which are not even healthy, chances are you are not meant to be a vegan, right? So you have to look at the sustainability piece. Are you going to able to sustain the diet for a longer time without it being a huge cost to the body, right? Because everything that you put in your body is going to support your body or harm your body, right? Food itself is a double-edged sword. Either it's building your body, or it can also destroy your body. So if you are eating foods that are not sustainable to your body, if you're eating foods that are going to cause long-term deficiencies, if you're going to eat foods that are going to cause long term issues, leading to sensitivities or reactions in the body, right? It is not the perfect diet for you, right? So the answer that what diet should I be eating is not a very straightforward one. It is extremely personalized. It is extremely um, focused on your requirements, your individual self, your activity levels, also your mind, right? When we talk about body constitution, we can also talk about mental constitution. So, from an Ayurvedic perspective, you may have seen a lot of controversy on garlic and onion, right? So, if you are someone who's looking to reach higher states of meditation, then we avoid these tamasic foods which are going to affect the mind. So, those are some factors that you have to discuss, decide before you decide the perfect diet for you. And if in this year your goal is to be your healthiest ever, it is time to sit down with a professional, talk about all your requirements, discuss with them what your needs are and what are you going to get out of the diet, right? Because if the diet is aligned specifically to your body, you should feel like $1 million, eating the foods you're eating. You should have great skin, you should have great sleep, you should have tons of energy, and you should not feel dragged down at all. Mentally you should be alert, mentally you should be focused, you should be able to get all your work done without needing crutches like coffee or chocolates or sweets, right? So if your diet is aligned to yourself, all the cravings will go away as well. You are only getting cravings because you're not eating the diet that's right for you. If you want to discuss more about what's the best diet for you, I can definitely help you with my expertise in Ayurveda as well as holistic nutrition. So you can message me or click below on the link below to set up a free 15-minute consultation where we can discuss your requirements, what's really going to support your body in context of your health conditions, your digestive capacity, etc. Right? When I go through Ayurvedic assessments, I always look at tongue to map out your digestion, and I look at your nails to understand more about the absorption as well. Right? So if you're interested in really using food as medicine, using your diet to support your body in the best possible way, feel free to message me and we can set up the 15-minute free consultation to go from there and discuss more about your diet. If you have any questions about today's topic, you can put it in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to come back and discuss those comments. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you next week, next Wellness Wednesday, 7 p.m. on the Wednesday for another Wellness Wednesday. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. Bye for now.